Greetings. Welcome to our HappyBasins jungle room. Thank you guys for coming today. I am going to get my technology set up real quick, make sure that I can see everything that's going on. Everybody here? So I'm excited. Tonight is going to be the first time you guys are actually going to get to see Pao out. I know I've taken him out before and shown him for a second, and we put him right back. But he needed to go into the rain chamber last night, and we just got caught up and we ended up running out of time in the day. So I said, well, we'll do it tomorrow night. And then I realized that we were doing this tonight, and I changed my plan on what we were going to talk about and decided instead to do to do this with you guys. I'm going to check my volume. All right, good. Everything seems to be working. And besides just taking Pao out for the rain chamber tonight, everybody saw you, just so you know.
Need my chair.
Instead of just taking Pao out for the rain chamber, we're also going to be taking Isis out. And I came in here earlier and I shut all of the lights off. So the lights went off early tonight, and I had about 4 of them. I know Jormungandr was hunting, Cassius Clay was hunting, and I can't remember. Oh, and Ningisita still is kind of out. But when I turned the lights back on for this, some of them curled back up. But the best thing of all is that Isis is still over there hunting. So I am going to go over there in just a minute, and we're going to open Isis's doors. And you guys have seen on many videos, if you watch my stuff over the years, that when I open Isis's doors, she seems to have some fascination with my face. And she always comes out. So hopefully she does that for you guys tonight. And we will also be putting Isis in the rain chamber. We're going to put her in the rain chamber first. And then we're going to come back and get Pao and put him in the rain chamber with Isis. And there were a lot of you with us on the live feed that saw Isis go through her entire pregnancy and birth and saw Pao even being born, was all right here live on YouTube. I didn't know how to do live on Facebook at that time. But it was a very exciting time. And now it's super exciting that I get to come back with a precious, healthy little baby to show you guys with his mother. And we did put Pao and Isis in the rain chamber together recently, and it was just precious. And I wanted to put Pao back in the rain chamber again within those short days, within a week of each other, because I feel like it's stimulating his digestion. And I'll talk about that when we get him out. I'm going to try to keep things in order. It's really hard for me not to go on a tangent, but I do have a plan for tonight, and I want to try to keep everything in order. But you guys are going to, if you weren't here for Isis's pregnancy, and even if you were, getting a recap, it's going to bring up a lot of memories if you were there. And if you weren't there, you're going to you're in for a treat, because it's a great story. It's a heartfelt story for me. And also, once we get all finished up, I'll show you guys, once you know the whole entire story, I'll show you the baby's art. The babies have been memorialized in this art behind me. So I'll get to show you guys a close-up of that. And we did look at it. Hi, Erica. Thank you for coming. We did look at the art the other night on our Jungle Room art episode, and it just is really neat to see what Ron Rundo has done with those babies in the art back there. So I'll be looking forward to showing you guys that tonight too. I also have a list I printed out I went back on YouTube on one of Isis's live videos and got the list that I created back then. It was the fastest access. I'm sure I could have typed it into the computer and found it, but I knew right where it was on that YouTube live. And so I got that and printed it out. And what this is a list of all of Isis's key dates during her pregnancy, all of the crazy things that happened. And I know I put on the description for this video why Isis and Pao are record-breaking emerald tree boas. And you are going to find that out too. They are the first on record of their kind. And there are a good number of people who breed these animals who do keep records, even whether it's mental records or written records. There's nothing like what we experienced right here in our HappyBasins jungle room. And for those of you who don't know, when Isis did have her babies, we lost all of them except Pao. We had some complications, which I'm going to give you guys all of the details of that, why it happened, how it happened, what it was like, and everything. And while I'm telling you all of that, I am going to actually interact with Isis. So instead of sitting here and telling you, I'm going to go sit over by Isis and hope that she comes out to visit me. And then we'll get her into the rain chamber, which she positively loves. Everybody loves the rain chamber. I'll tell you guys real quick while we wait just a couple more minutes for anybody. Hello, Snake Nook. Good evening. While we wait for anybody else who's going to be joining us, just a couple more minutes. I'll tell you guys, what was I about to tell you? Oh, I know what I was going to say. The rain chamber situation is actually, believe it or not, controversial in some of these emerald communities. Some people believe that it's just not necessary. And others, just believe misting is enough. And there's so much information out there. What we go by, I like to compare it to when you buy your dog or cat a treat. It's something many people can relate to. Not just a treat, but I meant to say a toy. When you buy your pet a toy and they play with it and they show appreciation and they love that toy, what do? You go buy them another toy and another toy. And these animals have so many toys because those toys seem to make them behave like they're happy. Well, that's what the rain chamber is for us. So no matter what the controversy is, whether they need it or don't, which they don't need it because many, many breeders have these animals without using a rain chamber. And I mention breeders because the people who can actually breed these animals are, high-tech keepers. So though a lot of those folks say no rain chamber, but it is very clear to us that our animals love the rain chamber. So we enjoy putting them in there. We enjoy the interaction we have when we put them in there. And it's very clear that they enjoy it. All right, you guys, I think I am ready to take you over to see Isis. She looks positively beautiful. I keep looking over at her. And as soon as you see her with your eyes, you're going to see exactly what I mean. Is that chair going to be for you? For me? Okay. Well, I want you to have a chair too, so you can have this chair. How about that? We need some little chairs down here, don't we? All right, you take my mechanic stool. Is it still on me? And now I'm not going to have access to your questions. So, all right, Larry's got his phone. What's yours on? YouTube? Yes. And this one's on Facebook. So if anybody says something, you can see here. Mario! William Blake. Hi, you guys. So great to have you here. Mario and I had a nice chat today. Oh, I don't know how to make that stand up, love, but hopefully you can figure it out. All right, give them a look here at this girl. I have not yet opened her door. Are you taking it off me now? Okay, you can go. Is it off me? Okay. All right. There's a setting on the camera that it follows me around, but when you want to show something else, you have to take it off the follow thing. All right. So here she is in all her spectacularness. All right, let me get my key points page, and then I will come back and tell you guys all about it. Look at that beautiful animal. Seriously, you guys. It's just something real, real special about her. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please don't be shy to leave a comment and let me know you're there. Dr. Botkin, if you're there, I would love to see a comment. Dr. Botkin is my neighbor who we just chatted out front a few minutes before we got started. Hi, Tara. Thank you for being here. Yes, make sure you're only driving and not texting. I know you're not. I know you have a hands-free phone in your car. All right, so are we ready? I'll give you guys a little bit of background on Isis or on these animals in general. Can I get back in here? Are you going to take that chair? And I take this chair? My mechanic's stool I got for $12 at the Salvation Army. I love thrifting. All right, maybe you might come around this way. Thank you, love. You're so good and patient. All right, a little bit of background on these animals before I get started on Isis's key facts. And the reason I'm sitting right here is because I'm hoping that Isis will come out and see me. So it's very possible that she will. These animals have a pregnancy usually of 130 to 180 days. And the record for a live birth from an extended pregnancy is 183 days. So as far as we know, the emerald who's ever been pregnant the longest was 183 days. Isis was pregnant 192 days, and we have a live baby from that birth. So she not only broke the record, but she passed it by 9 days, which is a good percentage. Hi, sweetie. I'm just going to sit down here by you, okay? And during her pregnancy, she did great. She had a great pregnancy. She was active at that time of her whole life with us. Isis has pretty much had free reign. She does not stay locked in an enclosure. She gets to come out and roam all around this room. Can you give them a quick glance of around the room? You sweet thing. You're such a good girl. Yes, my Isis. So beautiful. So you guys see all these vines. Isis spends her time up here. Show them the spot above the water system where she usually sits. She really likes to sit right up there. That's one of her favorite spots. And then she also has another spot she likes to sit over there by Pao's curtain, all the way over there. Well, when Isis, oh, I meant to get a piece of data. You didn't possibly get that data, did you, love? Well, I don't have the exact months, but it was a good about 3 to 4 weeks that Isis was not only out roaming like she always was, but something happened in the jungle room. And it was right over here. Can you show them this wood right over here? Right here. This wood right here had mildew on it. Just the very slightest little white mildew, but it was down in that corner. And what happened is we were using the rain chambers. This whole entire setup, every one of these enclosures has its full own rain chamber. And so when we first did this whole model, we were using those rain chambers. Well, until this day, I mean, until the day of what happened that I'm explaining right now, that I found that mildew. And I took all the doors off and I crawled in there and I cleaned everything super, super good. Well, when I finished everything, I turned the air conditioner on to about 74 just to get some cool air blowing in here to help with that, because of course I was worried. So we haven't used these enclosures as rain chambers since then. We've just been using our rain chamber, which you're going to experience tonight. And sweet thing. So I'm looking at the data right now, and you can see that it was most of the month of March. So it was about 3 weeks in the month of March when that happened. And Isis was just getting into her pregnancy. So when I turned the air conditioner on in here, Isis moved from the corner over by Payo's that I showed you. She slithered past that and over here. And she laid right where the cool air was blowing from. And I'm embarrassed to say, it's really embarrassing to even say that I thought, when you're pregnant, you're hot. You're always hot. And it probably feels good to be in the cool breeze of that air flowing. Because even after I turned it off, I just left it on for a couple of days. And then Isis was back over here, and I was, still had the doors off, and I was going to put them back on. But I wanted to just blow off the room again before I put the doors on. And when I did that, Isis moved from over here to in front of that air again. So I thought, wow, she really loves that cool air blowing on her. So I left it like that for a few weeks. And then we quit blowing the cold air, went back to the regular 77, 78 degrees that this room stays in because it's on its own thermostat. And, she just went back to her normal behavior. Well, when she got to day like 125, because it's supposed to be between day 130 and 180 that they have their babies. And when she got to day 125, we put her back in her enclosure and shut the doors and didn't let her out again. So it's very probable that her pregnancy was like frozen in time during those weeks that it was cool. And that is likely what prolonged the pregnancy, and also a likely reason why we still had live babies, because I don't know about any research on these animals during a pregnancy, but I think that a lot of reptiles can like stop their body process when it's cool. So it may be that she was still developing those babies and everything was going to be okay. I really don't know. We will never know, because I will never do that experiment again. With our, uh, sorry, our Jormungandr possibly being pregnant. And I hesitated because we also have a possibility of Ningishzida. Ningishzida has not shown any signs of ovulation, but Jormungandr has clearly ovulated. So we are expecting that she's possibly pregnant, and her temperatures, I've been using a temperature gun on her every single day, and her temperatures will be exactly what is recommended from our mentor. So we will not do that experiment again. Now, when it came time for Isis to have her babies, and then the time passed, and we got to day 187, even at day 180, I was getting a lot of messages from breeders of these emerald tree boas saying, you're in an emergency situation. It's time to do something to the animal. Take it to a vet. It's going to need surgery. There's no way there are live babies inside of there. It was just a real, I want to start touching her a little bit, because I was hoping she would come out to me by now, because she typically does. So like around day 180, I was already getting all that advice. And then when we got to day 187, we got a phone call from, we reached out to our mentor, and the mentor said, well, since you asked, and we ended up making a scheduled surgery for Isis, and we were going to drive her, how far, love? 9 hours to Des Moines, Iowa, to have surgery. And she was going to be cut open, and all of the babies were going to be removed from her. And it was super scary, devastating, actually, because now not only the babies were, not going to be here, but also that was a huge risk for Isis to have to go through the stress of the travel and then surgery and then stay there for rehabilitation and then come home if she made it through the surgery. We had two surgeons, the two surgeons in the country who are most known for this exact surgery, even on this species. They have a lot of experience, and we're really grateful to have access to those guys. So that's what we were going to do. And then another friend of mine who works with wild emeralds, where they live, they don't have, access to, like, I don't think veterinary care is going to be the same like it is here. But besides his decades and decades of experience and a helper with the same decades of experience, they are able, when they have a pregnant emerald that does not give birth, they actually massage the babies out. So I decided that I was going to do that. Starting on day 187, I started to massage Isis. And I was actually going to show you today what that looks like. Sweetheart. But if a lot of you guys watched it, we did it all live. I gave her once a 3-hour massage live on YouTube. And we were just doing an aggressive massage, trying to get the babies out, where I was running my fingers from her belly down to her tail where I could feel it. And then I did 2 90-minute massages, a 3-hour massage, and some 40-minute massages. And all of that happened between day 187 and day 192. Day 192, the last morning I did it, was the same morning she gave birth. So when I first started the massaging, right, the day before I started the massaging, okay, here's a good, and yes, it's been asked to me many times, are we sure we had our timeline right? Yes, we are. We had a very distinct ovulation with the ovulation shed. So we had our ovulation shed on March 5th. Everything was very well documented with pictures, messages, Facebook. So there's no doubt that those were the dates. So on day 187 was actually the first day that I just gave her extra rain. I gave her a whole lot of rain. She hadn't moved in a few days. And then I was really surprised that night, or that day on day 187, she shed her skin. And these animals do not shed their skin when they're pregnant. They very, very rarely, it has been recorded of boas shedding their skin, and some breeders have heard of it, but nobody that I actually talked to experienced it. So she had a full entire shed of her skin on day 188. That was very scary. Day 187. That was the day I knew this is very, very bad. So then on day 188, that's when I started the massaging. And that very first night I did a 90-minute massage. And she loves her massages. She always has. And when she was pregnant, she really responded to them. And we were able to get the babies out. So I rubbed her and rubbed her and rubbed her. And like the first day I rubbed her, she released her birthing plug. And so I felt very accomplished. And this is it right here, you guys. And she just gave me her tail. You guys all sat here and watched that. She just gave it to me. She was not trying to resist me, or she literally could have held on with her tail. But she knows that this is something she gets, and she loves it. And she always got this long before she was ever pregnant. But I never did this when she was pregnant, just when it was time for intervention. So there on day 188, I started the massaging. I massaged every day. I had the birthing plug come out, and then her water broke. Like a huge gush of water came out. Actually twice, one day and then one like 2 days later. And I now know that me doing this massage to her, it's very likely, can you see her whole self? Do you have her whole head in there and everything? She's so beautiful. She's over 6 feet. She was over 6 feet last time we measured her, like 2 years ago, so who knows what she is now. So me rubbing and rubbing bursted the sacks of the babies, because these animals don't typically have a big water burst like that. So I actually broke the baby's sacks and all the fluid came out. And if I had not rubbed Isis, it is possible that we could have had more live babies if I would have waited. But it's a scary thing. Another of my girlfriends, Tana, sent me an article about a different type of boa, and they actually did experiments with the temperatures, and they found that if the pregnant female is kept cold too long, she just gives up the whole birthing process, and the babies just die inside of her. So we have all kinds of scenarios that could have happened, and like I said, we'll never know. But we did get baby Pao out of it. All right, so you guys see how I was massaging her much more aggressively than I'm doing right now. I was really pushing on her belly. Right now, she would love for me to just sit here and keep doing this, but she is going to go into the rain chamber. So love, if you can set the camera up and get the rain chamber started, and then we'll go. Yeah, keep it on Isis here. So let's see. We had the birthing plug, the water broke on day 191. That's when I had the big gushing. So the babies were born on day 192. So that huge gushing came on day 191 and the morning of day 192. So the sacs didn't break too early. We did end up with 2 live babies born. You guys, look, she's just holding on to my fingers and just taking this. She loves it so much. She loves it so very much. I know so many people say these animals don't respond to love, and they don't, I can't agree. My experience says differently. So when I massaged the babies out, we were actually leaving that afternoon. For those of you who remember, we were leaving at 1 o'clock that afternoon to start driving. We had everything packed up. We had her little travel enclosure created. We had everything ready to go, and we were leaving. And then it was like 9 a.m. and I gave her another massage, and I put her in the rain chamber because I was just giving a last ditch effort at trying to get those babies out before we left for the surgery. And by this time, it was a dire emergency. And of course, we didn't think there were any live babies in there. And so I was giving that last ditch effort. And then lo and behold, she started having babies. And the very first one was born alive. That little one only lasted for about 20 minutes after it was born. And then the second, third, and fourth ones were completely stillborn. And then the fifth one was born live, and that's our little baby Pao, who you're going to get to see here shortly. And let's see if I could get her out. Sweetheart, do you want to go take a shower? So the fifth one was born live, and then the 6th, 7th, and 8th ones were not alive. Come here, sweetheart. Yes, you're such a good girl. Yes, you are. And you guys should know that the only of my animals who's ever bitten me is Isis. She is the only one. Nobody else in my emerald family has ever bit me. She has bit me twice. Actually, I should just wait for Larry. She has bit me twice. Once right in the face. It was a feeding response bite. She was hunting up in the vines on the ceiling, and I was making videos with my phone, and my phone was super hot, and I was not paying attention to her, and I completely forgot that she was up there hunting. Hi, sweetheart. You're just about there. You're doing so good. It's not even her. It's my hand, you guys. She's got her whole tail wrapped around my hand. Oh, sorry. There we go. So my hand was just stuck in there. I don't know what you guys can see here. But we'll just wait for Larry to get done with the rain camera. Sorry, I know that's loud. I can kind of see over there that you can see me. I don't know where I was. So yes, I know where I was. The 5th baby was alive, and that was Pao. And then the 6th baby was stillborn. And then there was a 7th baby in there that was like hard. It was not developed like the other ones. The other babies were juicy and beautiful. They looked like they could have been alive the day before, which they may have been if I did not do that massaging. But then again, if I didn't do the massaging, we don't know. It's just too hard to know. Everything worked out just the way it was supposed to. I have to just think of it like that. So the 7th baby was like not developed. That one would never have been alive. It looks like it died sooner than the others. And then the 8th one was nice and juicy. So she had 8 babies in there total. And the 1st and the 5th were born alive. And then Pao had to have a little tiny microsurgery done on him. Larry had to cut some things and use some dental floss and do stuff. And, you know, of course, we were told that that baby, you know, is not going to survive. So don't expect the baby to live very long. And we didn't. And I actually told Larry, you know, he just has to take care of the baby. And I know I should have wanted to spend every second with the baby if he was only going to live for a day or 2 days. But I didn't want to, I'm too interactive, and I didn't want to bother the baby. And it was really hard for me to think of bonding with the baby. So if I could go back and do it again, I would spend every second I could with the little baby and bond with him completely. But that's how I felt at the time. And then time kept going on, and he didn't eat for a really long time. Let me get another data sheet that I have over here. So the baby ate for the well, first of all, the baby shed. Pao shed. Well, my camera, I lost my camera, love. Pao shed when he was 37 days old. And at that point, he had not eaten anything. And it's perfectly normal for those babies to not eat until after they shed. So then on day 145, I may have those days wrong. I'm just trying to remember. On day 145, Pao finally ate. And he did not eat his food on his own. We assist fed him. We took the tiniest little pinky and got it between his lips and kind of pushed it in there. And then he swallowed it on his own. So he's eaten like that 3 times now. And the dates that he's eaten, someone just messaged me and asked me, what dates did Pao eat? And Pao ate on October 19th, October 25th, and October 31st. So we've been going about 6 days apart on feeding him a little pinky. And now we're going to wait a while. And plus, he's had those 3 meals and he has not pooped yet. He did poop before he ate, just like whatever little newborn babies poop out. But he has not done it again since he ate 3 meals. So we are giving him his rain showers. You know, we check his temperatures every day. From now on, temperature is a huge deal in this jungle room. All right, love, are we ready to take her in there? Oh, so you guys, let me just, actually, the episode I was going to do tonight is what is it really like to get bit by an emerald tree boa? So when I do that episode, that's when I'll tell you guys the full details about when Isis bit me in the face. That's what I was talking about earlier that I forgot what I was saying. And yes, I'm going to give that whole story, and I have more stories. I've had 2 bites from Isis. One was very minor, just a leave me alone little bite when I first got her, because she was trying to get up on the vines, and I was like treadmilling her in my hands and not letting her get up on the vines, and she turned around and just barely touched me with her teeth. Well, that was a lot different than the face bite. But Larry has also been bit twice. Those are really good stories. And then I've been bit once by a wild emerald. And you guys know I've traveled to the jungle. I'm about to take my 10th trip in less than 2 weeks to go find these guys in the wild. And after holding 25 wild emeralds in my hand, and those emeralds come from all different places, I've only ever been bit once, when I first started free handling them. Because at first I didn't know any better, and I just did what people told me to do, and I would grab their head and hold the head real tight so he couldn't bite me. And now when we get them in the wild, we never ever touch their head. The wild northern emeralds are exactly like this. Is this water on? So she loves the rain chamber. It's not even going right now. Something happened to the water. So Larry went to check it. But she is very excited to get into that rain chamber. And also between the massages and her knowing that coming out means she gets to go in the rain chamber, that keeps her very friendly. Because I don't only open, no rain. Oh, maybe I did. There we go. So I don't only open their doors when it's time to eat. They get all kinds of treats, massages that they love, rain chamber. And I know that it's really hard for folks to believe, but I also think that many of my animals love the social interaction. Can you come over here and get her going in there with the camera? No, I mean, thank you, love. Look at her in there, you guys. She's already drinking, and you guys couldn't see, but she was rubbing her face real hard on that soaker hose because she loves that. As soon as she lets go of my hand here, we can open the other door, but she is drinking away. Can you actually see her jaw moving like I can? Over there? Oh, I don't think the camera's going to get wet. So she will just sit in here and drink for as long as we let her. She's still got her tail wrapped around my hand. So if my friend who told me that they'll believe my basins are happy the day they write it in black and white, I hope this is enough, because I feel like Isis's interaction tonight has shown that she 100% did not mind being petted or coming out. She just didn't want me to pet her head. She wanted me to pet her tail. So she gave me her tail. She knew what was up. All right, I'm going to put her in there so we can open the other side over there. They always like to have your hand to hold on to. Oh, actually, we are expecting Isis to use the chamber pot tonight, so that's why she had to go in here tonight. I was lucky that it didn't happen to me last night. So, hi, sweetie. So she gets to just sit in there for a minute. I was thinking that she might use the chamber pot pretty quick. So as soon as she does, I'll go get baby Pao. I just can't leave her all alone until she does her business, because then I won't be able to catch it. And I can actually make her do her business. I can actually expedite that. And that was another thing too, when I was getting the babies out, is something that I do to them. Because sometimes, because we do have them all potty trained, the way we do this, sometimes it can take a really long time. So when I help them drop their tails and give them a little rub, it helps expedite the using the chamber pot process. But she may not be ready. Let's see. If she wraps her tail back up right now, then we'll just go get Pao, because that means she's not ready. She's not wrapping it up. So when she was in the rain chamber that morning, starting at 9 a.m., the morning of her birth, she was like back in the back of the rain chamber, and I was rubbing her, and we were just letting her sit in there. And then all of a sudden she did a birthing position, and we all got so excited. I mean, I was crying. I couldn't believe she was actually having like the birthing process. After you got all the raindrops off there, after all we'd gone through and we were about to do with her. So when that birthing process started, it was extremely emotional. And when the first baby came out alive, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I just was astonished, because of course I did not expect that to happen. And then Larry took the baby, and, you know, things weren't right with the baby. And he just quit breathing shortly after he was born. And then, of course, we had the stillborns, and then Pao came, and Pao was alive. So I didn't have any expectations of Pao living, because the first baby had already died like before numbers 2 and 3 were born. So when number 5 came out alive, I didn't have any hopes, but we still treated the baby like, of course, like he was going to live. And when the babies were coming out of Isis, I had created a whole nursery for her to have the babies. And, you know, then she ends up having them in here, and I folded up a towel to put at the bottom so the babies would have a soft place to land. But I was holding my hands under them. So baby Pao was actually born into my hand, which is so incredible. And that whole entire experience is live on YouTube. So that was the most amazing thing, was having our YouTube community there with us. All right, you guys, she has curled up her tail. So let's go get Pao. All right, I'll check in there. All right, now, before we go see Pao, while I'm checking in, I am going to let Larry show you guys the baby. I have not shown Pao's enclosure lately, because I get a lot of, you know, my mentors don't agree with a lot of what I do. So I'm kind of on my own with a lot of stuff. And one of those things is keeping baby Pao in something other than a little tub, because babies have to have their temperature completely controlled. Everything has to be very, very controlled. Well, we tried the tub, we couldn't keep the temperature. The humidity was a problem. So we decided to just do what we know. So if any of my mentors who I love and respect are watching this, and you're gonna cringe in just a second, we're doing what we know how to do. And when we get new babies, we'll be more prepared next time, because we now know that we need a tub rack system, which we never wanted to have, but we are going to do a better job with our babies if we get more chances to have some. All right, so I keep this curtain over Pao right here. And as soon as I get this opened up, I'm going to start looking at the comments and see what you guys are saying. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm opening my Fluval app, and I'm turning Pao's little light on in there so that you guys can see him better. And he is sleeping up top. Now, I had a glance at him today, and I thought he looked blue. So that'll be even better for him to go in the rain chamber with that. All right, let's see what folks are saying. Oh my gosh, look at that baby. Oh, Mario, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're still here. William Blake, wow, it's so cool to see you. You know what I can actually do right now, since we're going to get Peo out? I know what I can do. Just keep it on this desk right here if that's easier. And I will get him out here. Is something wrong?
No, when you walk around like that, it puts it right in my face.
Yeah, if you could just keep it where it's not on me like that for now, since I'm moving around so much. All right, so here we are, you guys. You see this little removable perch I created? It sits inside of his enclosure in there, and then I can just lift it up and out, and that's what we take him in the rain chamber. I can see you, love. All right. Hello, Nelson. Nicole Lee. Hello. Nicole Lee. Is that my cousin, Nicole Lee, whom I've never met in person? Dara Dawson. Holy smokes. That's amazing to see you guys here. Sarah, thank you. Sydney. Hello. Luke and Ron. Thank you guys all for being here. Wow, what an amazing thing to get to have so many people to share this with. Sharing is the most exciting thing. Oh, wow, we have a lot of messages. You guys are so amazing. Yay. DW's here. Hello, DW. And Megan. Reptile Excursion. Thank you guys for being here watching. Yes, the baby is looking great. And we don't know if that baby's a he or a she. So whether you guys say he or she, I use both. Megan, yes, we are all having a wonderful Monday. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. Yep, Larry's getting to be a pro with the camera, and we'll just keep getting better. Oh, it's Baloo. Hello, Baloo. Baloo's in Sweden, and it's in the middle of the night there, so extra thanks for being here with us. Yes, I think you're talking about Isis about ready to go to the bathroom. She definitely needs to. Miss Archange, I'm not sure how to say that, but from Germany, thank you for being here with us. Reptile Excursion says that his dad's been bit 3 times. So I would really like to maybe have some other people on with me when I do the live about what it's really like to get bit by an emerald tree boa, because people act like it's going to kill somebody, and it's just not. Yes, Megan, baby Peo is so precious. And yes, Erica, there's always more than one way to do things, and we all do what we feel good with. All right, you guys. Tara, welcome home. I'm glad you're home and not driving. Thank you for being with us. All right, Nikki Wilson, hi. Greetings. All right, you guys, we are going to take this baby into the other room. So let's do that. Are you taking your phone, love?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have this one. This one's on Facebook. All right, you guys, I'm just going to walk nice and slow so that you can, or maybe it'd be better if I just kind of go. I'm good at walking backwards. I'm getting good at it anyway from these live feeds. Should have turned that hallway light on. All right. And I also meant to get a rain rope for the rain shower so it wouldn't be so loud. And I am going to have to turn the pump on shortly. Now I do turn the water down just a bit for the baby. So we'll do that. And Isis did not use the chamber pot. All right, love, get right in here because look at Isis drinking, you guys. I hate to interrupt her. And these animals drink the entire time they're in the rain chamber. It's so good for them, all that hydration, because think about them being in the wild, how often it rains there and how much rain they actually get. So they're used to being able to drink. And yes, they have fresh water. You can definitely see a difference when you give them very fresh water in their water bowls. They drink like crazy that night. So they love the smell of fresh water. All right, so if my friend Christy watches this in Juneau, Alaska, we've been friends since we were girls. She always wants to know if there seems to be any recognition between Pao and Isis. Now, at this time, Pao is looking like he might be a little blue, so he's not going to be as interactive as he has been in the past. But we're just going to put this right here. Sorry, girl. Don't be scared of us. There we go. All right, keep that right on those two. So that baby's gonna wake up and, oh, that's okay. I have it in there secure, so it can't fall out, but I can see that it adjusted a little. And you guys saw the thumbnail of baby Pao that we took when he was in the rain shower last week. Oh my gosh. The second Larry saw that picture, he's like, I am making that my profile picture. That picture was amazing with those raindrops. And I just used PowerPoint to remove the background on it to make it on that crisp white background. I just used the remove background tool and clicked on the little raindrops and it came out perfect. So these two started their life together in the rain chamber, and they'll just continue using the rain chamber together. It's very convenient for us to put multiple animals in the rain chamber. And as you guys saw last week, we put 5 animals in there at the same time. And normally we would put 6 all at the same time. And we just keep switching out the chamber pots for each animal as they use it. So I would not put either Isis or Pao with any other animals right now. So it's most convenient for us to put them together. And that baby's gonna wake up and start drinking. But I am very glad to see that he's blue. That's very exciting. I thought I saw it in his eyes today, but right now at this moment, I can really see it. And you guys can even see it just from pictures I posted the other day. How when we say blue, for those of you who don't know, that means that they're about to shed. And the oil builds up between their old skin and their new skin and makes them kind of a milky, cloudy color. And in the snake world or reptile world, they call it blue. Oh, are we going to poop? So what I'm doing here is I have a little chamber pot that looks like this. If you weren't able to see what I just did, and I slipped it in there because she looks like she's about to drop her tail. And once they drop their tail, that's when they poop. Come on, Isis, get it in the one. One of them already filled with water. So if anybody wonders what it looks like to have a potty trained emerald, there you go. That's what it looks like. And it's very, I mean, it's quick. And that's how we have our iguana potty trained as well. She just takes, like, Jaja, you put her in the shower and she goes in 1 second. So she's real easy. And these emeralds usually do too. And if you're in a hurry, you can usually rub them a little and drop their tail and they'll go. And you can raise the water temperature up to, like, 93. Usually it's about 90 degrees coming out of here. We usually measure it about 90. But in the wild, their rain is only about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And I actually had my friend check that for me in their natural environment just about maybe 6 weeks ago. So they do not have, did you video the whole entire pooping? Oh, God, love, put it back on the baby. Oh, don't spill that water. She's not finished though, you know. So their natural rain is about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And why we use 90 is because that's what was recommended to us when we got this rain chamber, and it works really good. So we just stick with it. It works really, really good. So we just use it for all of our reptiles, our tortoises, our iguana, and all of these emeralds. Not the rain chamber. The iguana and the tortoises upstairs have their own bathroom, basically. It's our guest bathroom, but you guys don't need to use a restroom, do you? Because if you do, you have to use the reptile restroom. But yes, we keep that restroom for the snakes. I thought we would. She might poop some more even. You're gonna go do that? Thank you, love. So yeah, with the 92 degrees, it's just perfect. And we have in the other room is a full temperature regulator, and it is photo developing equipment that keeps the temperature at the just exactly whatever you want it at. And that's perfect. So we keep that at about 92. So then coming out of here, it's about 90 after it runs through the hose, because this hose goes all the way to the room where we just came from. And this about 90 degrees is good. And I can go in there and just turn the cold off just a little bit, and it sends more hot water. And then I can raise the temperature a couple degrees when I want to do that. And also that water is all filtered. The cold water is filtered and the hot water is filtered. So you guys got to hear the whole story about Pao's birth. Since we've had Pao, I wish I would have written it down better. I didn't write down exactly how many days from the time he was born to the time he shed, but it was about a month. And then it was about another 17 days after he shed that he finally took a meal. And like I said, he still hasn't taken a meal on his own. He has not struck at a meal and eaten it, but he has eaten two pinkies and a fuzzy mouse. So he's had plenty of nutrition. And now he looks like he's about to shed, which is awesome. And we're waiting for him to use the chamber pot. But I noticed on the feed chart that I get from one of our mentors, we get, like Isis came from, and Isis's brother, and we're getting another one of their brothers soon. Those animals all come with a full feeding chart of everything that they ate, when they shed, when they pooped, when they went in the rain chamber. He keeps track of every little thing throughout their whole lives. Zoltus and Isis were 3 years old when I got them, and they had 3 years worth of those detailed records. So I was able to see that it's not unusual to have 3 meals with no poop. So I'm not worried. So far, Pao has taught me, stop worrying and just, let things go. Go with the flow. So he's doing a great job, baby Pao. Okay. Can you zoom in on the animals while I do that? Yeah, Tara's exactly right. Why is it wrong what I'm doing? Well, it's just not the way it's been done. And you guys know, I've told the story many times, if there's anybody here who hasn't heard it, that when I first started working with these animals, I posted a picture of me holding Isis, and it got so many ugly remarks, I deleted it and never even posted a picture of me touching my snakes for over a year. And then when I started going to the jungle and learning more about the animals and working with mine, I started getting less negative comments because then I had friends, really good friends, and that really helped. But then it just became normalized. And I mean, I will just go ahead and say that I do believe that all of my stuff with these emeralds has increased the number of people holding their emeralds on Facebook, because you can get as many ugly comments as you want, but clearly it's working for somebody and it's working for us. And there are others who hold them. I love what we do. I love, love, love what we do. Tara wants to know what one of my mentors says, since she's always learning too. Like, you mean about holding them, or? Yes. Danita said that Isis was absolutely looking for her babies that first night. And she was. For those of you who were there, we saw Isis like digging through her plants looking for her babies. And I brought the baby over to Isis in her enclosure, and I showed her the baby, and she just perked up. She looked at the baby and stuck her tongue out, and then came up and kissed my face, licked my face with her tongue, and then slithered back inside like she was content. She got to see whatever happened to her earlier. She knew that there was something to find. She blows. Yep. I know what moment you said that, Erica. I'll share a couple of things from mentors. And I've shared these things before, and I always feel bad if this particular person is watching, but you know what? I shouldn't say I feel bad. I don't want anybody to think I'm being disrespectful. It's just that we just do things differently. And folks who, breed these animals and keep them their whole life, they live for over 20 years, keep them their whole life in small little containers on, many people only have larger perches where these guys need thin perches, and they don't get enough water. I mean, there are tons of things I don't agree with as far as the happiness of the animal, because I know how inquisitive they are, how much space they use. But even though I would love to see those animals get more of a life, those guys are breeding those animals, and many of them. So in their mind, breeding equals success. And if that's how they feel successful, then so be it. I can't do something about it. And yeah, sure, wouldn't it be fun? And I might have, if I was, 20 years younger, when I was maybe in my 30s, I might have still been aggressive enough to go on there and say, so mean, and I hate that they're in those tubs. But these days I am able to just look past things and find things that I do enjoy about other keepers, and appreciate their animals, and learn all that they have learned about temperature and humidity. And I mean, golly, we wouldn't even be able to keep these guys if those guys hadn't figured out how to keep them in tubs. So, I appreciate all of that. But for me, I like to see these animals happy. When Isis gives me her tail, like intentionally, you guys saw what she did. She turned around. She could have wrapped her tail up and kept me from taking it. I didn't do anything. She just gave me her entire tail. And that's how they are. All of them are like that. And they love the rain chamber. They love coming out and slithering around. And yes, I did have an unsuccessful pregnancy. It wasn't fully successful, but we got this sweet little thing. It was definitely blue. It was a success. And my friend, Jeremy Moore, he called me on the phone right after the birth, and he's a very old school. He doesn't have his name out there public. He's super old school emerald guy. Worked with these animals when it was still legal to import them. That's how long he's been working with them. And he called me up, and him and his wife were telling me all that, how successful I was. And many keepers don't have a successful birth, even though they've had many successful births. Sometimes just something goes wrong. So he's like, count yourself as a success. You had a living baby after a record number of days. And he made me just take a whole different spin on the situation. And I was super grateful for that. And of course, we have this baby. This baby is going to make it. I mean, he's eating, he's drinking, he's using his enclosure and slithering around, and now he's about to shed for the second time. So we definitely believe that that baby's going to be just fine. And I definitely learned a lesson with the temperature with the pregnant females. And even if I hadn't put that air conditioner on in there and noticed how she loved it, letting her roam free would highly likely not have caused a problem, because the ambient temperature in that room is well above what her ambient temperature is recommended in her enclosure. So who knows? You know, so many different little factors that caused it. Well, you guys, Isis pooped and the baby's just sitting there. So I think I'll take you back in the other room and show you the art dedication that was made for the babies, and we'll take a quick look around at the other animals and we'll sign off from there. And everybody seems relaxed. What do you think, love? Should we take Peo back in? Well, I do. Oh, look. Okay, Isis is going to go say hi to the baby, you guys. Oh, this is just what I was hoping for. Well, she didn't seem to give the baby any notice. I do feel a little concerned about leaving them in here together. So I think I'm going to let Isis stay and take Peo out, because he doesn't seem to be enjoying it. But Isis, she would love to just stay in here for as long as she's allowed to. We're going to let her do that. Amazon, pump on. And I had the water pump off in here so you guys wouldn't have to listen to that. Do you want to show them where the water's coming down there? The rain chamber water goes in that bucket down there. And then it goes out the hose and to the plants outside. And sometimes I use it for the plants in the other room, just depending. All right, let's go get this little thing back in. And you guys can come with me this time and watch how I actually put him into there. Thank you, love. And you guys can see how cool my little removable perch is. And I'll also just show you the inside of his enclosure. I had to give him a plant because I don't know how to keep the humidity without the plants. See all these plants here, you guys? These plants are more than just aesthetics in this room. They help us with the humidity. All right. So you guys can come and have a look here at baby Peo's house. Right in here. And baby Peo has just a nice plant with vines. It may be just a little too warm in here for this plant to be up that high, but it's okay. Baby Peo wants it. He likes it. He slithers on it and enjoys it. And then he's got this natural wood that Cassius Clay, his dad, baby Peo's dad, had for a long time. Look at the baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. He's very interactive, so I was really hoping you guys would get to see a little more of that tonight. But he is blue, and I didn't expect that. I kind of thought it this afternoon, but look at him. And we'll get to interact with him more, because after he does this shed, we'll show him to you guys again for sure. Look at that little thing. He's so tiny, you guys. He's so tiny. I almost want to take him back into the rain chamber now that he's awake, because I really did want him to use the chamber pot. So when I put this in here, I'm going to put him back in the rain chamber. You guys can stay on or not stay on after I show you the art. But I set this thing right up there on top of that soaker hose. I designed it so I can just set this right in there. All right, let's come on over here. Love, you may have to walk behind the desk. You're going to show them the art. we'll show you guys each piece of the art real quick. So Ron Rundo, he is the artist who did that tree sculpture over there. And he came over and painted a memorial for our babies. And the first thing that Larry's going to show you is baby Pao. Rundo painted Pao right there above Isis's head coming down, which was just precious. And then right above that, you can very slightly see the little snake and a spirit snake up there in the stars. And that spirit snake represents the little baby that I was telling you about that wasn't developed or anything and had died sooner. And then over here on the other side of the mural, you can see the 6 little babies that were born. 5 that were born stillborn, and then the one that's in the lead there is the one that was born alive but didn't make it. And those are the 6 little babies slithering off into little emerald baby heaven. All right, love. I am actually going to take this baby back into the rain chamber. And once we get in there, I'll say goodbye to you guys. But grab that phone right there too, if you would. Look, you guys, can you guys see them? All right, we'll go back in with Mom. All right, so since he woke up, I'm just going to take him back in there because this was a mission. This wasn't just for the video. This is actually something, like I said, I meant to do last night, but ran out of time. So when I realized I needed to get it done today, usually we wouldn't do this until a little later in the night when they're already awake. But like I said, I shut their lights off early and stuff so that they would wake up for you guys. So baby Pao goes back into the rain chamber. And you can keep the video on baby Pao, and I'll still just stand right here. Come on over here so you can see him really good. You guys, real quick, you don't have to put it like following me. I just want to say thank you so much for coming tonight. And I am just going to keep standing here and chatting, and we're all going to just watch these animals together. Because if you weren't here, I'd still be standing here chatting, watching these animals. So I'll be looking at the comments and stuff while we all just sit here and watch them. Hi, Pierre. Hello, Erin. Nikki says, I've been watching your videos and love them. Thank you, Nikki, so much. We really appreciate you being here. Luke says, these aren't one of my favorite snakes. These are my favorite snakes. So Luke says, these aren't one of my favorites. These are my favorites. These are a vibrant part of the ecosystem in South America. That's right, Luke. Luke, well, you'll have to take a trip with me if you don't already live over there. I don't know where you live. This is just amazing having you guys here. And Pierre is my friend from Canada. So nice to have you here, Pierre. And Erin, you guys are just amazing for being here. Are you getting your phone with the YouTube? Yeah. Since we're doing this on StreamYard, we get to see YouTube comments and Facebook comments. So sometimes you may not see a comment. Look at the baby. I'm actually going to just keep this hook in there just in case. And you guys have seen that we don't use hooks, but we do keep them around. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so glad that this ended up happening, not just for you, but because I also wanted to have the baby drink and do stuff in here. Little baby, you sweet little Pao. He's just as friendly as his mother and his father. And actually, Pao's father just shed last night. That's something I could definitely show you guys too. I didn't even show you the other animals like I said I was going to. Well, Pao woke up and that changed things, didn't it? Because we got to see a good look at all the other ones last week.
Top is where it begins. Oh, I get you.
But I am, as soon as Peo sheds, you guys, well, then as soon as Peo sheds, Isis will probably go blue, and then we'll have to wait for Isis to shed. But as soon as we get everybody shed, Cassius Clay just shed. You guys saw the photo shoot that Larry did of baby Peo and Isis and me last week. And I'm going to do a nice photo shoot of the three of the family, the mother, the father, and the baby. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about everything to do with these animals because they're not one of my favorite snakes. They are my favorite snake, to quote Luke. Tara says, I believe that it's a sign of both wisdom and maturity to take what you need and leave the rest behind when it comes to information. Yes. And then there's also information that, like, for example, keeping Isis's temperature and not going out of that range. Sometimes things, we don't want to listen to, and we have to learn for ourselves. So those are that's all just part of learning. Erica says, I can't believe how you're restraining from touching Peo. I wouldn't be able to help myself. I know, right? Oh my gosh, you guys, the worst in this house is Jaja. I can't quit loving on that animal. She's so sweet. Yes, that baby is so, so sweet. And I mean, he loves his rain chambers. We put him in there a lot. And honestly, we put him in there each time before we assist feed him. Oh, Danita left. Bye, Danita. She said, great job with the video, Larry.
Thanks, Anita.
Yes, Erica especially loved my Glamour Shots photo session with those guys. Well, about the hydration, Larry was talking about, he's got a whole episode laid out on talking about our experience with hydration. Larry calls this rain chamber a healing chamber, and he believes in it so much, and especially even more now that we have our little rescues upstairs, our little Peo and Mommy Wada. They have responded spectacularly to the rain chamber. And we're assist feeding 2 animals right now, baby Peo and Rico Suave. And before we assist feed them, we put them in the rain chamber first because we want them to be good and hydrated. And then we also have another a northern emerald that we're rehabilitating who has had magic worked from the rain chambers. Oh my gosh, is Peo gonna drop his tail? You guys, if Peo would ever drop his tail and poop right now, you have no idea how happy I would be. That is the reason he's in the rain chamber right now. I feel like we have got to get a poop out of him before I can really feel better, I feel good. He's doing great. But I definitely don't want to feed him again until he fully digests that meal. But that movement definitely looks like he might be using that chamber pot. Let's see. How is that on your guys' screen? I'm trying to get Isis too, but you probably would just rather see Peo. Larry's good at zooming in and stuff with this camera, but I'm not. Oh my goodness. It's too cute. And I'm not calling Peo it. I just mean this whole situation is too cute. All right, let's see if the camera will follow Peo around. This movement is very encouraging, you guys. When I put him in here last week, he would move into different positions, but then he would just sit still for a really long time. And he never actually did anything. So this is a lot more movement than we had last time. And he does look very bulgy at the cloaca. And he's strong too, you guys. I mean, he hasn't done it right now, but he can scope his whole body. He can raise his whole entire body up. He's just so perfect. Yeah, it's going to be really fun the day that I get to show you guys the mother, the father, and the baby. I'm holding this tripod and it's making it wobbly. Instead of setting it down, sorry. Oh, come on. Come on, this is it, you guys. Please let this be it. Please let this be it. I wish it was like auto drive. What's that when you call it when you set the speed and you just go the same speed? Yeah, when you use cruise control, and then as soon as you hit the brakes or the gas, the cruise control goes off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wish this camera did this. Like as soon as you actually manually changed the position, that auto follow thing would just shut off, you know? You guys, I am so excited right now. Seriously, okay? All I want is for this snake to use the chamber pot, and I will be so happy. And it really looks like it's about to happen. So you guys saw how quickly Isis used the chamber pot. When we put 5 or 6 animals in here at the same time, it is just constant changing out those little pots over and over and over again. And then some animals know that after they poop, they can just come out, and they do. They come right out. You guys have seen that. And then we have other animals like Jormungandr who you have to drag them out with wagging tails because they do not want to come out of that rain chamber. I have never had one of my emeralds wag their tail at me, which for these animals means that they're mad. I've never had one wag their tail at me when I was taking them out of the enclosure, but I've had multiple of them wag their tail at me when I was taking them out of this rain chamber. And I've had them wag their tail going back in. I have a really cute video of that, of our little Aria, my girlfriend's little daughter, just about maybe 6 or 7 in the video. And she was carrying, I think it was Jormungandr, her name Megishita, on her neck for like an hour. Just we were making videos and doing this and that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, as my friend Rendo says. And when it was time for the snake to go back in the enclosure and get off Aria's neck, it did not want to go. And he was wagging his tail, and it was really sad. So it's really fun to get to find out that they have personalities and how each one is so different. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that bulge. I really think it's going to happen. But really, he looked like that last week. Someone even commented on one of his pictures because he looked all bulgy, like he was going to go to the bathroom, and then he never did. So this right here is exactly why he's in this rain chamber right now. Get some of that food out of him before we offer him any more food. But Rico Suave upstairs, who we've assist fed 3 times now, has fully digested all 3 meals. And Larry put his foot down on me last night and said, we are not going to assist feed him again for a very long time. We're going to let him get good and hungry, and then we will offer him food. And after, you know, I get back from my trip, maybe Larry will let us feed him again before I leave for my trip. Because that would just make me feel better being gone for 2 weeks, knowing he's not having more of his ribs start showing. I'm talking about Rico Suave upstairs. So if we let the assist fed animals just not eat for the next 2 weeks and then feed them right before I leave, that would be great. And I'm leaving for my trip on November 23rd, and I'll be back on December 7th. So Larry will be working 2 full-time jobs, one as a dentist and one as a reptile parent, and a single reptile parent. I know a lot of you out there know exactly how that is. And we're super fortunate to have both of us this into the reptiles. There are a lot of couples out there who have it as a separate hobby, which is fine too. I mean, Larry and I each have many separate hobbies. I'm not into car racing and he's not into going to the jungle. So we do plenty of things separate, but we do love taking care of these reptiles together. You guys, that little face, it's so precious. And you guys might not be able to see it, but I can see it from here that Pao is drinking away. So that's very good too. I am going to attempt to zoom in. So if I mess it up, please forgive me. Oh, I did it. Oh, maybe Larry and I will have to switch jobs and he'll get to do this part and I do the camera. He could be the talker. Come on, Pao. It looked like there was a little push there. Maybe I zoomed in a little too much. And, you know, I like to think of Pao as like a hand-raised bird. When I was at 2 reptile expos this past year, one was what was that super one called, love? The super reptile, but it was more than reptiles. It was birds, plants, fish, super show. You know, they had birds there that were hand-raised or birds that were not hand-raised. And I just decided that my baby emeralds are going to be hand-raised. So Pao has not been handled a lot, but he's been in the rain chamber maybe half a dozen times or more than that, and assist fed 3 times. And we maybe have handled him 2 or 3 times for this reason or that, but nothing. Oh, we weighed him the other day. He weighed 25 grams. So he has been handled, but not just for fun. But once he gets some full digestions going through him and some more meals in this next shed, then, you know, we'll start spending a little more time with them. And when I say spend time with them, I mean opening his enclosure and just letting him come out on his own, because they do. And I could have sat there with Isis. If, you know, you guys saw me get her out of her enclosure, my hand got stuck, so it didn't look as smooth as it could have. Larry was working in here on the rain chamber with the 2 of us. It would have been a completely fluent, easy thing, which it still was. But if I would have wanted to sit there with her, which I do like to do it, for 30 minutes or so, she would have come completely out of that closure into my hands without trying to fight me at all on it. And almost all of the animals are like that. Well, you guys, I don't know what to do. Okay. I mean, I don't know, like, who's still there. Am I taking too long? Oh, what a gorgeous picture. Wow. All right, let's see here. Where was I? Oh, Danita's still here. Hi, Danita. You couldn't tear yourself away, could you? Yes, Erica, Pao does look like he's about to poop. Everybody put some energy out there. Pao poop energy. Erica says, first we saw Amy super excited about the bloomin' penis, and now maybe a baby poop. You guys, when I put these animals in the rain chamber, if you didn't watch the gender bender episode, when they go in the rain chamber, they stick their hemipenes out right before they poop. And I've often seen their hemipenes stick out and wiggle around. But in the live feed, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, Cassius Clay stuck his hemipenes out, and because he's getting to the point where he's sexually mature and he's aggressive with the males and breeding with the females, his hemipenis didn't just come out and wiggle around. It bloomed. It popped open like a flower, like a morning glory. It was incredible. And so when I saw that happen, I got super excited. So bloomin' penis has been our little fun thing to say lately. And now we're looking for a Pao poop. And Hansel's dad. Yes, that's right. I know what Danita's saying. Danita is the hamster pusher. Not that Larry needed a hamster pusher, because he feels so in love with the hamster. If you guys know Hansel's story. And so I was saying how he's a stay-at-home reptile dad, a single stay-at-home reptile dad. And Danita's reminding us that Larry also has his hamster. Yes, Erica, the water droplets. I mean, you guys saw that picture I used for the thumbnail. Oh, that picture is crazy amazing. And when I took the background out of it and put it on that stark white, and the little PowerPoint program did it such a good job, I was just stunned at how gorgeous it looked. I love that picture. And then when I wrote Miracle Baby above it, I used the paintbrush to pick out colors from Pao to fill it in and outline it. So I may print that out and use it for, or even go have it professionally printed. The frog is, Danita's asking how the toad is. A toad showed up in my plant upstairs. Everybody says, oh, he could come in this way. He could come in that way. This and that. There is no way that toad came into my house, went across my entire floor, climbed up an entire story into the tortoise habitat, and then 3 stories up into the plant, because it's above a cave inside of a thing with a wall. So I have some theories. I'm going to talk about that on Thursday at 1 o'clock. I'm going to tell all the details, and I'm going to show everybody exactly why that toad did not come in my house in any way except as a baby buried in the dirt of one of those plants that I put in there long ago. And then I'm also going to show you guys Rico and Mommy Wada. So on Thursday, when we do our room tours, I'm going to spend that time upstairs. Yep, Larry has many jobs. That's right. And he is, oh, I know, Danita, you and Dana, Lady Z, both said that Larry, or I don't remember who said it exactly, but said Larry was a hottie. And what did you say that meant?
Husband of the year.
Husband of the year. So I thought you guys were just acknowledging how beautiful Larry is, but you're acknowledging his beautiful, kind spirit. And I know he's a hottie in all the ways. I feel bad keeping you guys. I mean, this could go on for a very long time. Even the other day, I did massage Pao very, very, very lightly. And I might try that again. Hi, Nan. Thank you for coming. Hi, JD. I'm so glad you guys are here with us. You guys always hear me say, show and tell is just as fun when you're in your 50s as it is when you're 5. I'll be 52 in just a couple months, so I speak from experience. I am going to give an ever so slight rub and just see what happens. Because even if I just feel like movement is even better than no movement, because I saw him sit like this for over 30 minutes the other day. And I'm just doing it very, very light. So he's had 3 meals without using the chamber pot. So we're just doing just a little extra to kind of see if we can encourage that. But we're not worried if he doesn't. He's about to shed. So he may just be that he burned up all those little tiny mice. They were all a smaller meal than he could handle. And these animals are able to actually use everything. Oh man, you guys can't even see my hand, how he's holding on to me. Love, can you manage this camera? I didn't realize you guys couldn't see my hand. Hi, sweet baby. Yeah, there is 100% no doubt that Pao is blue. Pao is going to shed. First they get real milky like this, and then the milkiness completely clears up. And then like maybe this little, maybe a day or so after he clears up, that's when he'll shed his skin. So we won't be able to see Pao as good. We're not able to see Pao as good as we were before on the camera because of the plant and stuff I put in there. Here, Erica, are you getting your fix right now? Oh my God, you guys, he feels so precious. You feel so precious, little Pao. You do. And I'm just gonna drop his tail for him. Kind of untwist him a little bit here. He got himself a little twisted. I mean, you guys can clearly see that poop, and I can even feel it in here. So I know it's there. And he gets plenty of water, so he's not dehydrated at all. His humidity is fabulous in his enclosure. And besides the rain chamber, he also gets sprayed with warm water in the other room. He just has not pooped. Like I said, we're not worried. Where was the spot where he had his little surgery? Was it like right there?
Should be.
Yeah. Pao had a little tiny little baby microsurgery. Yes, Pao did. So yeah, Larry had to do a little surgery on Pao, and he had to take Pao out. Oh, that was some more handling. That's what I was trying to think of. When he was putting the medicine on him. And then he put the medicine on, I think, for 3 days. And the 4th day, when he went to put the medicine on, Pao was healed. Larry couldn't even find the spot. So he did a really good job. Let's switch sides so everybody can still see that sweet little tiny little cute, oh my God, cuteness overload face. Little baby. Hand-raised emeralds. That's what we're going to have. And you know, everybody always asks me, oh, what are you going to do with them? You can't keep them all. And when the time comes that we do get a big litter of these babies, that's when we'll make that decision. But we definitely think that we will be keeping any babies for at least 1 year. Because in our experience, as you know, if you watched our gender bender episode, is that it doesn't matter who checks the sex of these babies at a young age with a probe, there could be mistakes. So we just decided that we're not going to probe any of the animals. We're just going to wait and find out naturally. I hate that he's turning his head away from the camera. Can they see the whole body? Maybe if I just put his head up there, we could see it better. Erica, I'm sacrificing Pao being in my hands for your visual pleasure. Oh my God, you guys, look at that healthy little body. And, you know, like our Bella, when we got Bella, he was maybe about 5 months old and had no stripe. Like the white stripe you see connected, Bella had no stripe whatsoever at 5 or 6 months old, even longer. And then the more sheds Bella had, his stripes started to develop. And now he's got a huge, beautiful stripe all outlined in black with big stripe and crossbars. It was amazing. And little Pao's dad has a really good thick stripe, and so does Isis. So we think that these markings on Pao are going to become much thicker and more distinct with time. So we're very excited about that. And even though these babies were inside of Isis for an extra many days, because it wasn't just 9 days, that was just 9 days over the record of the longest pregnancy. They were in there for a very long time. They were still not fully developed. So there were just all kinds of little things with their birth. They had sacks hanging on the outside of them, which is what Larry had to push back inside Pao and sew up. So there were little things. So Pao actually was premature because of that freeze in the gestation period that I did by letting Isis stay in the cool air. Oh my God, this feels so good. I don't know if you guys noticed this Band-Aid on my finger, but when I was feeding Jaja yesterday, I was using the potato peeler on her zucchini, and I was holding the thing wrong because I had already shaved it so thin and did a nice big fat shave right off my knuckle. Oh, it burned so bad. And you think how much I handle all these emeralds and mess with that iguana that I have a Band-Aid from a potato peeler. Last time I had a Band-Aid, it was from the tripod. So I just don't think the animals are as dangerous as some folks lead us to believe, which is why I'm excited about my upcoming episode on what it's really like to get bit by an emerald. I'm excited about that one. Poop, Pao, poop. We need a Pao poop cheer squad. I am going to go raise the temperature just a tiny little bit. Okay, love?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. Because the raising of the temperature makes them go faster when I do that over the years when I'm in a hurry. Because when you have 7 emeralds that have to use the chamber pot, you have to, learn how to do things quickly because you don't always have time to wait for everybody to do what they want. Although mostly that's what we do. That's mostly what we do. We usually let them stay in there as long as they want to. You guys want me to get Cassius Clay out? I'm standing here right in front of him. Oh God, he looks so beautiful. I'm just gonna get him out. He gets to eat tonight, so. For those of you who are still hanging around, not that Pao's not cute enough, but this animal is spectacular. Come here, sweetie. Yes, you're such a good boy. Yeah, come on out here. There you go. Very good. He's like, sure. You want me to come out? Let's go. Let's go. You sweet thing. You're such a good boy, Cassius Clay. Oh my God. You guys are in for a treat. Wait, I just want to shut Isis and Pao's doors real quick so it stays nice and warm in there. All right, here I come. Here I come with Cassius Clay. All right. Heyo. Oh, Cash is going to want to get right in there. I'm not comfortable with that. He's very aggressive. He's an aggressive breeder and He's aggressive with the other animals, but it's kind of sad because he loves the rain chamber. But we'll let him go in later after those two are out, because Cash is getting a meal tonight. He just shed last night, so he didn't eat with everybody else the other night. Hi. Look at that boy. You guys, we got so lucky to have this super, super aggressive breeding male that looks like this. He's the most beautiful animal in our collection, and he just wants to make babies all day and night. Don't you? Don't you? I wonder if you could see his little claws. That might be too. I don't know if you guys can see, but there are little claws right there on the side. Oh, oh, sorry. You'll have to do it again, love. He grabbed the camera with his tail. How was that looking? Were you able to actually see them? They're so tiny. And those are called, sometimes I've heard people refer to them as false legs. But they're just two little claws that he can connect. That's it. Because I'm not going to force him. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. Okay? They use those claws to grab onto the females, and the females actually have them too. And I even heard someone say not too long ago that females don't have them. Amazon, turn the pump off. Females don't have them, but we see them on everybody. So I don't know. We'll have to, do a better examination. We'll get to have a look at, we'll take the males and females out and have a close-up look and see if there's any things we can tell. All kinds of different things they say about telling the sex of snakes, the length of their tail. Like Erica taught me how to feel the cloaca for lumps. And if you feel lumps, those are the hemipenes. And females don't have a lump. And so far, just the few that I've tried it on, it turns out that way. And then I wasn't even going to tell you guys, but for those of you who are still here, wow, thank you for thinking that this is good enough to share that you want to keep watching it. It's always fun when other people feel the same way you do. Thank you guys. Well, what was I just saying? Showing oh, I know what I was about to tell you. I was going to save this for Thursday, and I will talk about it on Thursday. But I'll tell you guys right now, is that I had Mommy Wada and Rico in the rain chamber. We do put the quarantined animals in the rain chamber, and then I have all of this bleach stuff I put in here. The animals are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with those animals upstairs, but they are in quarantine. So after they use the rain chamber, everything gets completely sterilized with hot water, the hottest water that I can get, which is very hot. So we do that. But Mommy Wada was in the rain chamber, and she's a female. I was told she's a female. Her paperwork all says she's a female. She comes from a very good breeder. But the fella who had her for the last 8 years, didn't really do the best job in care for her. But in the rain chamber the other day, I saw the hemipenis. So I am not going to say 100% for sure until I actually get a picture of it. So every time I put Mommy Wada in the rain chamber from now on, I will have my camera on her cloaca the entire time. So I think she may be a male, which would be, oh, sorry, Cash. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry. If she's a male, that would make a lot more sense because she's so tiny and the males are smaller than the females. So if that's the case, then Mommy Wada would not be as tiny as we think she is if she's a he, but still pretty tiny for an 8-year-old animal, which is going to lead me to wonder if Rico Suave is a male. So I am not going to believe Rico Suave is a male until I see his little bloomin' penis. So that's why we are not going to part with our animals as neonates we are going to raise them by hand, and we're going to know their sex before we let them go. It's not always as easy to find the sex on a female. The male, once you see the hemipenis or you see a super long sperm plug on a shed, you know instantly it's a male. But a male could also never show his hemipenis and could have no sperm plug come out on the shed. So you really can't identify a female for sure like you can with a male. With a male, there's no question whatsoever once you see that hemipenis. It's like a mathematical counter example. Once you have a counter example, then you know it's not true. So, but now we have Cassius Clay. And this thing right here can tell you in 1 second if you have a male or a female, because he's extremely aggressive with males. He fights. And then with females, he instantly tries to start breeding them. And we have our Bella, who is also an aggressive breeder, but Bella will try to breed with males, females, and us. Bella is not discriminatory about who he wants to breed with, but this one is. He will wrap a male and fight him in a second. You can't even get him apart. You pull him away and he's still trying to get back at the males. And the females, he just instantly starts caressing them. He's extremely romantic. We should have named him Rico Suave. Can you come in here and get Isis? She looks so precious right now. Oh, both of them do. I just can't let Cash in there. Like I said, he's too aggressive and Isis doesn't want to be bothered with that. Isis will be like, doesn't he have 2 other women he could go bother? I was planning to put Cassius Clay back in with Jormungandr just to see if Jormungandr was still interested in breeding, because if she is, then we would know she's likely not pregnant. And if she doesn't want to breed anymore, then it could mean that she is likely pregnant. Oh, Isis just saw Cash. And, but she seems so pregnant to me. Like she went through the ovulation. It got really, really big. It went away. She shed her skin. And now, even though she's so new into the pregnancy, and that I don't know why she would be doing it. Somebody might be able to explain it, but she's not coiling up like a cinnamon roll. She's laying all spread out. She sleeps like that all day. And even when she does coil, it's huge gapping coils with her belly hanging down. So she's not just acting normal. So I'm really thinking that there is a good chance that Jormungandr is pregnant. Until we know, we won't know until it happens, I guess, because these guys can have false pregnancies. I've heard people say it. They can also be pregnant and then reabsorb their eggs, which is what everybody told me was going to keep happening to me because I handle the snakes and they can't handle that stress. But these snakes are not stressed. The definition of happy is relaxed and content. So if you show me my animals not relaxed and content, then I might believe you they're not happy. Until then, this demeanor right here is all I need in writing. This is my writing, isn't it? Tara had actually asked a question earlier I didn't finish answering. And it was, what are some of the things my mentors tell me we're all still learning? Of course, they say temperature and humidity is key with these animals. Temperature and humidity is the #1 most important thing. And that's why a lot of keepers keep them in tubs, because it's very difficult to keep humidity correct. We use misting systems and rain chambers and plants, like all the different things that we use. And yes, it would be much easier to just keep them in a tub, keep the temperature and the humidity all regulated, and, keep it very consistent. I'm just going to put the camera back on Isis because she is moving around, and her moving around is just really majestic. Oh. Oh, she's scraping her face. Look at her. She's so cute. Oh my God. So the biggest thing about these kind of snakes is the temperature and humidity. And then also, these animals are known for not being able to handle too much food. If you feed them too often or too big of meals, they can regurgitate. And once they regurgitate, it can often become almost a habitual thing for them. I'm not really sure exactly how that works, but regurgitation in these animals is very dangerous. But there's a fella out there who, his name is Joe Monahan, and I love following him. He tries all kinds of crazy stuff. He doesn't care what anybody says about what he's doing or trying. He reports everything in a documentation style. He writes articles, and he has rain systems and all kinds of stuff. He experiments with different heating, different types of hydration, all kinds of things. Well, he let one of his females eat as many large rats as she wanted. And I know for sure she ate 5, like in one night. And then I thought I saw him post the next day that she ate 3 more. So I think, I'm not 100%, I know at least 5, but she may have eaten 8. And that made me feel really good and inspired. I was about to say it made me feel jealous, but I always say that jealousy is just a synonym for inspiration. And I was really inspired because I wish I would have done that for Isis before she got pregnant. I think something I failed to mention earlier was the fact that Isis was pregnant between ovulation and pregnancy for 8.5 months, and she never ate that entire time. And so she's been eating, we've been feeding her pretty much every time she wants to eat, we feed her. And it's because of Joe Monahan's inspiration. You guys, I am really struggling with this animal over here. He wants in that rain chamber so bad. I mean, I'm standing over there on the other side and I just keep treadmilling him. He wants in there so bad. So if anybody wonders, why do you need to use a rain chamber? Because they like it. They love it. They want some more of it. So that's why. Same reason you would buy your dog or cat a toy. And, like friends who don't think it's right to handle these animals, my friend says, one of my mentors says that every time your hand touches the door of one of those cages, your animals are just cringing. And I just don't believe that. I mean, you guys have seen these animals come right out to me, so I don't see how that's true. And they are very interactive. They're so curious. That's why they're so interactive, because they're super curious animals. Come here, get a close up here. I am going to very controlled let Cassius Clay sniff Pao. And everybody's going to want to see that initial. This is the first time. So let's see what happens here. And I've got his whole body here, you guys, in both of my hands. Absolute full control. And Cash has never bit anybody. He just wraps around them. No interest. He just wants to get in there. He's drinking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but Cassius Clay is actually drinking. Since I've teased him like this, I guess I'll let him sit here. And I can't take Isis out. Isis, I'll turn this water down and let her sit in here. She could stay in here for hours and hours and hours. It seems like a lot of rain, but that bucket down there is, I turned the pump on, but it was still just barely at half. I was just being safe. So she can sit in there, and we have a hot water booster on our hot water heater so that the hot water can last for a really long time. Does the video look okay, love? There are no drops on it. That camera's so wet. No, the top. But you would be able to tell if you look at the video on your phone. Oh, and you guys can see what I'm doing right here to Cassius clay. This is what I was doing to Isis the first time she bit me, like just barely on my hand. She was trying to get to the vines, and Larry was just doing something in her enclosure, and we were going to leave, and I had to put her back, and I didn't have time to let her out on the vines. It was literally when I very first got her, and she got mad at me for doing this right here, and she turned around and ever so slightly bit my hand. It reminded me of like how a German Shepherd kind of snaps at you if you were tickling his ear hairs. I wouldn't do that to a German Shepherd these days, but in my youth, I thought it was funny to make them keep reacting to that. So, and I never got bit by any of my German Shepherds. I didn't tease them for long. But anyway, that's what it reminded me of. And then she's never been like that again. She's very vocal. She does make a lot of noise. If she doesn't want you to open her enclosure and take her out, she will huff and puff. So that would be interesting to get. I've had many videos of it happening, but those of you who know me know that videos is not my specialty. Editing videos is not my thing. Even like the other night, all those beautiful pictures I posted of Pao in the rain chamber. Oh golly, I took so many videos of him moving around. He's so precious. But then I don't know. It's more fun to play with the animals than it is to edit videos. Is the camera on the snakes, love, or me? Let's see if I can get this onto the snakes. Just my hands?
Oh, you're in it.
Okay. But can you see? I don't think you can see what I see, but can you show Pao's face? It looks so cute. You have to come over there. Thank you for doing this for so long. Look at that little face.
Completely
Blue, yeah. His eyes are covered way more than they were this afternoon. So let's show Isis real quick how comfortable she is in there. Oh. Sorry. And for those of you who are still here, thank you for being here. I mean, we talked about the meat of everything in the beginning, and this is just extra. Hi, Seth. Holy smokes. Your guys' costumes looked great, Seth. We always love seeing what you guys are doing. Thanks for all the Facebook love you give to our pets. Hi, Monica. Thanks, Nan. Nan says we're doing a good job. Thank you, Nan. Yes, Erica, I just now got onto the YouTube, and Erica says that Cash shouldn't care about Pao, only about other mature males. And yes, I agree with that. But still just a little scary. If you actually witnessed how aggressive he is. And plus, Isis doesn't need that worry about him. But he'll get some rain chamber time. He will. Erica says we're going to get flooded with males now. Why is that, Erica? Oh, yes, you guys, I said those false legs when I was showing the little spurs. They're called spurs. Vestibule legs. Supposedly males are bigger than females. And the vestibule legs are spurs. Thank you, Erica. I'm reading messages backwards. I need to get it back up here to where I left off last time. Yes, Erica said that Pao may very well poop when he sheds, and that's very common. So we're really hoping that that's the case. And the cool thing is, when we first got these animals and we didn't, you know, we didn't have our full process and everything down like we do now, it turns out that when they shed, they often poop at the same time if they're not, you know, like the way we do it, that doesn't happen anymore. But the poop gets rolled up inside the shed like a nice little package. It's so perfect. Saran, hi. Yes, Saran, Pao is blue, about to shed. So we're giving them some rain shower, and Isis is in there with them. And I don't know if you got to see Cassius Clay, but I've been over here desperately trying to keep them from escaping into the rain chamber. And Cassius Clay is Pao's father. Yes, Saran, Monday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're always going live in the Emerald Room. This one, the Monday night one, is just for the emeralds. And then Tuesday is just for the upstairs, Jaja and the tortoises, and Serapi and Hundo. And then on Thursdays at 1 p.m., look at him wagging his tail. He wants in that. Thursdays at 1 p.m. is our room tours, where we're talking about all the different aspects of animal keeping in our house. So Monday nights is my favorite one, because that's when we're actually doing these guys. And everything else in this house came unexpectedly, but these emeralds were very intentional. Well, you guys, I think we're going to go. We are just going to leave these Pao and Isis in there. And in a little while, I'll let Cassius Clay go in there because he clearly wants to. But he's going to get a meal tonight too, so he'll be happy. You'll be very happy, won't you? Won't you, sweetheart? All right, you guys, I will see you again on tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have something really cool to do. I'm just going to wipe these driplets off there. Oh, that thing. Okay. Yes. What was I saying? Tomorrow. Last week on Tuesday for Jaja and the tortoises, we practiced doing paint footsteps. And they did an okay job, but I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was alone. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., I'm going to have Larry, Allison, and Soraya with me, and we have some new, sorry, sweetheart. We have some new plans for the footprints, and we're going to make it work this time. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and golly, to get to share this special, special time with you guys means everything. I love you. Thank you. Bye.